What's up, guys? It's been a while. Give me a sec. Trying to get some kinks worked out here on the back end. Sec, I'm working on getting Mike in here. We're going to be talking today about Trump. We're going to be having a little friendly debate discussion. And as soon as I can get this working, we'll see. I got Mike here. We can see him on the stream, but I cannot hear him, and he cannot hear me.
Check. 1, 2.
Oh, wait, there you go. Okay, I can hear you now.
Yeah. Check.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Mike? Mike? Yo, can you hear me? Hang on a sec. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Nope, that's a no-go. Can you hear me? Fuck. This is kind of lame. Sec, guys. Bear with me. Can you hear me now? No, hear me now. Always happen. Hang on a sec. Stay here. Cool.
There you are.
All
Hey,
right, can you
buddy.
hear me
Can
now?
you hear me now? Yes, I can hear you and see you. And I tried to do that fucking shit I stayed up all night with you with. Of course, I pulled it up and nothing, but same old shit,
Can you hear
man.
me?
Different day. It's fine. Yes, I can. Yes. Yes. Can you
You
hear
do
me?
hear me? Okay, why
Yeah.
can't I hear you?
I don't know.
There we
I'm
go.
getting the green audio source working right on my end. Check 1, 2.
All right.
Making sounds.
Now the question is, why do I hear myself in my ears? See. Sorry about this, guys. This is kind of shitty. All right, can you still hear me, Mike?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, we're set up. Let me just get your audio all nice and hooked up so that you sound good. It's cancellation. Guys, it's been months. Okay. Let's see.
Bro,
we
give me
go.
like 2 minutes while you dial that in.
Yeah,
I need
yeah,
to
yeah.
step away, right?
No
So,
worries. Go
I've
for
been
it.
streaming since like 8 o'clock tonight, so give me just a minute. I'll be right back.
No worries. Go for it, man. Expression. And now we need the All right, guys. I think we are ready once Mike gets back here. We'll just have him talk, make sure our voices are level and all that good stuff. Let me get my chats up. Awesome. Dang, yeah, it's saying. Cool. So we're live everywhere, people. Let's are you there, Mike?
Live everywhere, people. Let's go.
Okay, cool. Let me just share this out so that send all the pals over to come watch and all that good shit. Do you like the thumbnail, by the way? I did a classic spy versus spy take. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, no, it was great.
Yeah, man.
I loved it. It was killer, dog. It was gangster. Gangster lean even.
I used to love that game. It was such
Gangsta-licious.
a simple game. It's kind of funny. Like, you look back and all the games back in the day were all kind of shitty, but they were so fun. It was like just difficult, extreme difficulty on all those old school Nintendo games. But yeah, man.
It's a
So,
lot of fun.
Mike, why don't you introduce
I
yourself
spent
for
so many
everyone out
hours
there?
on Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Oh
Oh,
God,
sorry. Yeah.
that
I'm
guy
Mike.
killed me. Mike, what do you do? Where are you from? Who you be?
Uh, I am Mike with the PT Pod. Everybody here probably knows me. If they don't, they probably won't want to after the show. So it's not a big deal. I produce shows for people and things and stuff. So yeah, more busy. Like I'm way too busy. I don't have anything to show for how busy I am, and that most people that do what I do are. There you go. So
I feel you on that. Let me see. Let me just get you a little bit more gain on your audio. You are a little lower. Let me see. Let me get a limiter on you, and that should do the trick.
yeah,
Talk now.
PT Pod Show, PT
Awesome.
Pod and PT Pod Show right here on Rumble. Where you want to be, where you want to go, where
Definite.
all the cool people are. We do shows every night of the week.
Yeah, his
Can do stuff.
channel is insanely always. Even when you don't think he's active, he's active. Like I was on. We were both on simultaneously with our buddy Daniel, and he was on. He was live. I didn't know he was live, but he was live streaming us. Um, that was fun times. Yeah, he. It was like all of a sudden, Mike PT Pod has rated the stream. There we go. Here comes third Railify. What's up,
Tricky like that,
everybody?
dog. You never know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it's cool. Sometimes being tricked it's like a pleasant surprise. Fucking here we thought we only had like 10 viewers and then we probably had another 20, 30 on your channel. All right, everyone's in
Exactly.
now. So,
But you got to do it. That's why you got to do it.
let's uh let's start out with getting our statements on what we believe, like our opening statements per se, right? Nothing timed. This is just casual. We're going to fucking throw down at some point because guys, we had this conversation or somewhat this conversation the other day, and I just was like, we should have this on stream because there's a lot of people that love Trump still, and there's a lot of people that hate Trump, and I'm disappointed in him severely, but when he does good things, I'll say, hey, he did a good thing, and when he does bad things, I'm gonna be like, hey, this fucking asshole, right? So that's my stance on it. Oh, did we lose you? Shit. Oh, there you are. Are you there, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so what I was saying was, when he does good things, I'll say he does good things. When he does bad things,
Are
I'll
you
say
hearing
he
that
does.
echo?
No, you're
Sorry
hearing me
about that.
twice?
My computer's tripping. I'm trying to do something.
Okay.
I'm here. I need to stop playing around.
No worries. It's a little this thing I use is called Video Ninja, and it's a little tricky. It's kind of a pain to be honest, but it's not StreamYard. StreamYard's expensive as fuck, and it does the job. It does what needs to be done. So I'm good with it. But let's see. All right, so back to where we were. You all
Oh yeah,
right?
no worries. I'm not tripping on you.
That sound
I'm tripping on
that
me, man.
sounded
I think it's my stuff. Yeah, yeah,
that sounded
yeah. I just cleared my throat. Yeah, no, I think it's me on my end. I'm tripping,
okay.
not your stuff. My stuff. My bad.
No worries. So yeah, so my stance on it is I voted for the guy. Um it was kind of a reluctant vote. I when he picked Vance, I was like, "Oh, I think we're fucked." He picked the Palantir guy, and I didn't like it, but then Democrats started talking about how great it would be if we could just get rid of the Constitution because it kind of gets in the way of what they want to do, and so then I voted for him. Then he started saying a lot of base shit, like I want to get rid of the tax and the income tax. I want to at least get rid of tax on tips and Social Security and a lot of shit that it's like, okay, this is right up my alley. Get rid of all the taxes. Fuck it. So I was like, maybe I'm wrong about Vance. Maybe Vance is on board with all of his stuff, and then the first 100 days I felt were like awesome, pretty much. And then he started with war stuff, and that's when I was like, oh no, why? Why are we doing this? So, how about you
Yeah, man.
give us your stance on it all?
Yeah, no, man. I didn't come really down at all on the side of Trump on that, but it's cool because you're like, yeah, you rep Trump on that side now. So okay, I don't at all. In fact, the major reason I voted for him was for no war, and the major reason I don't support him now is because of that. But you've asked me to take this side, and I am a master debater, so I'll take this side. It's very simple, and
Yeah, hold on. They're
it's not
telling us
for
we're a little
plebs.
low.
It's not for the less.
Sec, I'm just raising up our volume
Talk
as
to me.
much as I can. Yeah, just raising us up a little bit. They were saying that we're a little low. Let me see. Maybe I gotta add some gain on top of
No worries. Yeah,
it.
no, just saying it's not for plebs, right? So The plan is a deeper plan. The plan is to establish U.S. dominance, history in memoriam forever to come, and that is basically proving our military and our oil dominance, the two most important things on the planet. And Trump knows what we got to do is go in there and show everybody that we, have the oil dominance. We have the most oil in the world, so we need to start selling it. And not only that, but we can shut their stuff down whenever we want. So you come to us first for oil, and they need to pay a tax if they want to sell their oil, old school New York gangster style. For people that are like, that's mean, that's harsh, wah, cry. I just gotta say sorry. If you're a gangster living in a gangster world, you got to do gangster shit to get by. Period. The end. That's why we elect the people we elect. We elect these people. We know they're trash. You know what I'm saying? But we need trash to deal with trash. You don't get, you don't get to stay clean if you're going to be in a swamp, right? So that's just how it works.
So let
Argue
me
that.
ask you let me ask you this. Do you think that he broke his promises to the American people and to his especially to his voter base? Or are you not in line with that?
I absolutely think he broke his promises, but I think that how about this? I think he broke his promises, but I don't think he ever intended to keep them. You know what I mean? So yeah.
So do you
In
think
that you can't run on sorry, guys.
Oh no, go ahead. Finish. I thought you were done with your statement. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say you can't run on we're going to establish dominance, change the world for the better, make sure your children have the richest and best resources ever. But unfortunately, to do that, we have to shake some things up around the world, some power out of some people's hands. And unfortunately, no one wants to secede their power. So we're going to have to take it from them. And we do that with guns and bombs. So we're going to have to take all these shiny bombs and guns and the baddest military on the planet. And we're going to have to go in there and we're going to have to take some of that power away. And we're going to have to then make sure that they no longer are a concern or a threat to our children or generations to come. And no longer is the UAE the richest country on the planet due to what? What are what makes the UAE so rich, dog? What is that? What are they doing?
Oil.
What are they doing over there in the UAE? Makes them so rich?
Selling
No.
oil.
Oh, oil, you say? Interesting. Cool. Wacky. So no longer is UAE the richest. America is the richest. So the difference is the UAE never had military dominance. They were backed by Iran, the military dominant power. So that being said, at the end of the day, you don't care if the Strait of Hormuz ever gets open. You have the most oil in the world. What is wrong with people? I have the most oil in the world. Okay. What I'm going to do is sell it to who I want, when I want, and cut China's supply of oil by 50%. Nice little side bonus there. Right. So it's not like China's not coming after us. So at the end of the day, man, doing what has to be done like a real one is not how you necessarily win elections, but it's how you change your country for the better.
That's an interesting play. But if his main concern is China, right? Which during his first election run, that was his phrase. It's China. It's China. But now why is he importing 600,000 Chinese college students who are going to come here, do research
So
at
it's
our
just me
finest
defend
universities?
everything that Trump does all night. That's what we do. So you ask me
Yeah.
about the oil. You don't have an answer for it. You don't have
Well,
to defend any other viewpoint. You're just like, I was with him till he did this. Now you defend it. I defend it. And you go, now the next thing I don't like about Trump. That's it? Like that's our
well,
whole
you're
conversation is I got to defend everything you don't like about how about
this.
you tell me what the problem with the oil in Iran is? Explain it. Allow
Well,
me to win one.
this is a
Unless
follow up
unless you just
question.
concede. Unless you agree, John, that you have nothing. And then that's
No,
fine. I win. We can move on. I don't care how you do it. But, it's up to you, dog.
it's a follow up question because if China is his main concern and he's doing this to thwart China, right? That's your premise, no?
Yeah, no, my premise is we got the oil. We want to become the richest and most military dominant country on the planet. And the only way to do that is to have the most oil and the best military. And that's what Trump is doing. And our biggest threat to all of it, or yes, our biggest threat to all of it, which is basically the BRICS nations, he's castrating or at least kneecapping to allow us the growth that we need to strengthen up and them not be as big of a threat as they are.
But while he's doing this to supposedly kneecap China, he's allowing 600,000 Chinese students, students, which are really going to be just spies because we know how the Chinese operate, to come into the country to save the indoctrination
I
centers.
don't agree with that either. Okay, what's your point? I don't agree with that either. What?
My point is I don't think that
We're
he's trying
talking
to.
about this thing. You make valid points on it. So let me talk about this other thing I don't like about him. I agree. I don't think we
Well,
should let
no,
him in
my
either. I
my
agree.
point
What? Talk to him.
my, my
Get him on
point
the
is
phone
that
and ask him why.
my
Even
point
Laura
is that
Ingraham
I
and
don't
Fox
think.
News disagree with that, bro. Come on. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
my 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 theory is that I don't think he's actually trying to kneecap China because if he was, he wouldn't allow their students in. I don't think that it's
Really?
as clear cut.
Really?
I think
Really?
yes.
Okay, so
I
cool. So let me ask you this. Another country can reduce the amount of oil America gets by over 50%, right? Like that's a way they can hurt us, right?
Well, they
If
are doing
they
that. That's
reduce
why
our
our
oil. Or let me finish, or they take in a bunch of kids from our country. Which way do you think is going to hurt America? Them taking 500,000 of our children from us or reduce to study and learn, not to beat up, not to hurt, but to educate. Is that going to hurt us more, or is taking half or over half of all of our oil away going to hurt more as a country? Slow down and think about what you're saying and understand other people can hear you and then get back to me.
well, we're also taking away half of our own oil too, because we're not getting any oil out of the Gulf either. It's not like we're only hurting China in this. I mean, I don't
Not
know if
yet,
you've
but that's the
looked,
plan, right? We're getting
but
some oil out of the Gulf, and that's the plan.
that's what
And dude,
some
the point
people
is we
say the
have it.
plan is.
Where's it all going, right? Where's it all going?
Where's all what going? The
You said we're
Gulf
not getting any oil out of the
exports?
Gulf. Are we getting what do you mean we're not getting oil? We're not drilling? We're
No,
not
we're not.
producing?
We're not getting anything that would normally come out of the Strait of Hormuz, which we do. We do normally get Saudi oil, correct?
No, we don't. We very rarely, if at all, get from them. And not only that,
No,
but we replaced all of that with Venezuelan oil.
we don't not
Slow
get
motion.
oil from slow mo.
Yeah,
We
no, your
don't.
camera is slow mo. When you
It
watch back,
is.
you're gonna see yourself in slow mo and go, "Oh,
Fuck.
I'm in slow mo."
God damn it. The Chinese aren't the only ones getting oil out of the Gulf. That's just not true. We get oil from the
I
Gulf.
don't
That's why
disagree, but we have Venezuela now.
we
We have
do. But
Venezuela now.
if that
Is your
mattered,
argument
our
we can't get as much oil from Venezuela for as cheap as we can get from Saudi? When
if that
Venezuela we own and it's closer?
if
Are
that
you
mattered,
sure?
then our oil prices would have come down at least a little.
They
Like
have
we're
come
still over
down,
$4.
specifically. Not where I'm at, not at all. In fact, they've come down like 50 cents in the past week. How much cheaper do they need to be for you to be like, "Okay, cool." You know what I'm
Back to
saying?
what
Is
they were
oil
before he
never
started this
gonna go up?
madness.
Is the cost of gas the one thing in the world let me ask you this, is the cost of gas in Europe the one thing on the planet that should never increase in cost?
It would be nice because when the price of gas goes up, the price of everything
Well,
goes
I
up because everything
agree.
has to get
I
transported.
agree. Okay, how about this? Do you think it is reasonable if we're gonna have an actual intelligent adult debate, I'll ask you like this. Do you think it is reasonable to expect one of the lifeblood fluids of planet Earth, right? Like, I know a bottle of water in 2010 cost less than a bottle of water today, even though those are very cheap and plentiful resources. But do you think that gas should be the only thing that lowers in cost while everything else in the world, especially the cost to pull it out of the ground, refine it, and get it to you, goes up? Like around the world. You can blame Trump for that, but I promise you, even when Trump is gone, the cost of doing business is still going to increase. I promise you that. So
No,
please
that's
don't try
for
to put
sure.
that on
But
Trump because I can't.
well,
So do
no,
you think
that
that gas should
you
be the
cannot
only
tell me
thing that
that
should never increase?
you cannot tell me that the gas did not go up as a direct result of this fuckery in Iran.
Yeah, he doesn't. He has a Twitter grasp on geopolitics, so there's that. Yes, no, gas spiked, as everyone, including the president himself, said it would. It's funny, you're an expert on everything the president, where people who don't like him say on Twitter, but you have no idea what he actually says or does. It's a very interesting place to be, but good for you, I guess. Anyway, yeah, no. See, here's the thing. No matter how much oil we were getting from Saudi, no matter how much, ultimately at the end of the day, as we know, Venezuela has more. Okay. No matter how much we were buying it at a discount or at a fire sale, we're going to be able to get it cheaper from Venezuela, right? So it's right down the road geographically in a world kind of way. So we don't have to really worry about that. We're okay if that strait stays closed forever, right? We'll make deals with Canada. We'll get those tar sands. But we have the largest oil producer on the planet right down the road. And we control all of it. And Exxon is the biggest exporter of that oil, which is an American company. So we're going to be okay. The whole point is we have the oil now more than anyone else in the world. And if you want to buy the oil, you got to buy it from us. Or like any gangster, you don't have to buy it from us, but we're going to tax little brother selling it to you. We're going to get a piece of that. That's the deal, right? And to stick it to China, yes, I absolutely disagree with bringing a lot of their kids in here. However, I also think, well, better to have your enemy closer than farther away. Once again, not a justification, but I absolutely think if you want to hurt a country more, if you told me right now, Mike, we're playing Risk, and you can hurt this country by taking in 500,000 of their children as exchange students or cutting their lifeblood production energy fluid in half. I'll take cutting their lifeblood energy fluid in half every single time. That's just me.
So you're okay with hurting American people so long as we hurt Iran?
How are we hurting American people here? No, I'm not. I never said that.
Well, because
Are you
our
losing
prices
that
have
bad that you have to make shit up? Are this
no. Because
early in the fucking conversation? You have to make shit up this or you
I'm not
have to
making shit up.
you have to default to bombastic. I am giving you simple information and facts, and all you have to say is you could say something as simple as it's the juice isn't worth the squeeze to me, or allowing them in could develop an army, and that's my concern. And I'm like, that's a
It's not
could.
about
I'm dealing
allowing
far
them
more in
in isn't
actual
an
fact.
army. Allowing them in isn't allowing an army, but it
I
is
gave
allowing
you a
them to
better
come and
argument
spy
than
on.
you're okay with
Spy,
hurting Americans. Foreign exchange students on their face aren't hurting Americans by any stretch of the imagination. And they're
no,
good
I'm
because,
talking
once
about the
again,
oil
per
prices.
the title, wait, per the title exchange student, we send a bunch of Americans over there as well.
I don't. I'm gonna Google that real quick because I don't think that's actually the case. I don't think we're sending anyone over there.
We might not be sending the same amount, but there are a ton of American students studying in China right now. Maybe not 500,000, but there are tens of thousands. I know this. I know personally people studying in China right now because I talk to humans outside of the internet. So, yeah, sorry.
Anyhow, back to my
I
point.
literally know
This
Americans
whole
in China studying for their doctorates in different in two different disciplines right now. One of them is in science. So yeah. But let me guess, Google says there is not one American in China right now.
No, I'm not saying there's not one American in China, and I'm actually just searching to see if there is any American students going in on that deal.
How about you just ask, are there American students studying in China currently? Why wouldn't you do that, John? Is that information you don't want to have because it wouldn't serve your narrative and it's basic factual information you can't twist and go, well, sort of, kind of with this, but da 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 da. Are American students studying in China right now?
800 to 1,000
Question mark.
right now. It's 800 to 1,000 American students over there right
Correct.
now.
Correct. Absolutely.
So why would we want to bring in Chinese students that are just going to take our research and send it back to China? We know they have secret police here that
I
kind of
don't know.
police their
Why are you
people.
asking me? That's not a debate question. That's not a debate question. That's a I'm losing the Iran war question that you haven't mentioned once since you asked me one time and have ran from, and
No, I haven't run
embarrassingly
from
so
it.
since
It's
then.
it's
And the
horrible
only
that we're
other
in
question
Iran.
you've now asked is, what about the Chinese? And you're okay with hurting Americans? I'm like,
Well, because
no, I'm not okay with hurting Americans.
the
I
hurting
absolutely
Americans is for the
disagree with
gas
bringing that
prices.
many in. Yes, it will open up China for more Americans to get into. And that's the good I can take from it. But I overall disagree with it, just like Fox News. So, no, I don't think I'm out on a limb there. So, yeah, no, when it comes to Iran and that, the whole idea is we are oil and military dominant. And the most oil and military dominant planet on earth has the safest people with the most access to the most resources. And I can't understand why anyone would have a problem with that. So that's what I'm saying there. Then, as far as China goes, I disagree with bringing them all in too. And once again, if you tell me, because your whole side swipe was, well, we're not really hurting China by taking half of their oil away from them. If we really wanted to hurt China, we wouldn't take foreign exchange students in because
No, whoa,
oil
whoa,
has
whoa, whoa,
nothing to
whoa.
do with the success of a country and its economy.
Those
And I'm
two
like, okay,
things are
well, let's
mutually
wait.
exclusive.
And I'm asking you, do you believe, do you want to hold that if you want to hurt a country, taking in a bunch of foreign exchange students is way worse on that country than cutting their oil supply in half,
No, cutting their oil
especially
supply
if
hurts
they're a
them, but
highly,
then
especially
bringing their students
if they're a
helps them.
highly mechanized developed nation.
Bringing
Just
their
one.
students helps
Which
them.
one do you think is worse?
No, obviously taking half of their oil supply is bad for them. However, bringing their students
Thank you,
is good
Neuro.
for them because they're going to come here and they're going to take our technology, spy on us, and all that stuff that they've always done. Except now they're going to have 600,000 of them taking up spots in American schools that Americans should take up. So making it more difficult for Americans to use American resources, and the price of gas.
Once again, I agree.
Even-
I never
even if
even
we
said I
have-
disagree. You ran so far from the actual oil and war
Even
debate
if-
to find one thing you think you're winning on that I agree with you on.
Even
Let's
even
find
if
a
we
topic
have
we disagree on that once again you got to run from and find
Even if
something
we
we
have-
agree on and feel like you're owning me by giving me points I agree with you on.
even if we have the most oil
Sorry.
in the world with the most military dominant military in the world, and we could just blow up every single country in the world. If our oil prices
You're
are
not getting
up,
off this. Like you have one little thing you think you have a win on because I agree with you, and you just got to live
If-
there. You're just
if
setting
our-
up a tent and a campfire, busting out marshmallows and weenies, and you're like, too many foreign exchange students, too many Chinese, too many China come to my country. I get it, and I agree. Okay, moving on. You didn't even
If-
start with this, but here we are.
if we are taking their oil, but also Americans' oil prices are going up, which means prices on everything is going up. Americans are
Well,
getting
once
hurt by
again, we've
this.
established the prices are in fact going down again. We've established the prices are going down. Yes, that's an if. We're not doing liberal arguments here. Okay, we're not going to do
Gas
the ifs
was
and
$2 and
frogs and
30
wings and
cents.
flying. We're going to do what is actually happening.
Gas was $2.30.
Yes, it starts. Yes, it's gone down, just not enough. Okay, it's
And
gone down just
then
not enough for you. Cool.
Trump decided
It's
he
gonna
had
go
a hard
down
on
more.
for Iran. Gas went up to $4.50. I'm talking Miami local prices. And now we're down to $4. This is
And what did
not
Trump say
good.
about that?
What has Trump
And what
said
did
about
Trump
that?
say about that?
What has Trump said? He said,
I'm asking
and
you
I
because you're
quote,
the one with the hard on about it,
a-
and it's so
and I
important to
quote,
you
I
without you
don't
seeming to
care if
know.
Americans are paying more money for gas. I care about
Is
Iran
that all
not
he
having a
said? What did he
nuclear
say in the
weapon.
last 2 days? What did he say in the last 2 days? What did he say in the last 48 hours about it?
I don't know what he said in the last
Surely, if
48
you're coming
hours.
on a debate tonight, you're going to know what he said in the last 48 hours about it, right? You're not
No,
going to
I
come
didn't
on with
prep for
some
this like
strong
that.
point and you haven't even checked in the last 48 hours to see the developments of it, right?
But
When
what
it's
did
a
he say?
breaking
He said he
story.
was going to bomb the shit out of them. That's the only things I've seen actually. And then he started bombing the shit out of them again.
Okay, so oil prices went down, and they did not. But anyway, oil prices went down. They're basically calling another moratorium right now. They are getting ships through without Iran being able to stop them, which was their goal, right? Is what he said. And as we can all see, with all of the oil prices coming down so drastically in the past week, it's working. And what he's doing is working, and the plan is working. And as
They
he
haven't come
said, we
down
were going to
drastically.
suffer 50 cents, per gallon is considered drastically to most people.
Not when they're
Anyway,
already
and
up
you see how you do that? You don't
$2
care
and
the
20
overall point I'm
cents.
making. You're like, well, the word drastically. I don't like the way you describe it. What you're saying is true, but the way you describe it isn't. Stop, dude. If you're going to debate, dude, you better bring fire. I'm not the one, okay?
Drastic is the
Like, you better
$2
bring
and 20
fire.
cent
You better
increase
come
we
with
brought
more
to the
than
top.
you use the word drastically, and it's not drastically. It's significantly. But I don't want to say it's significant because I don't feel a certain way. We don't do that on real debates,
When
okay?
when
We
gas
talk about the
prices go
numbers.
up,
We talk about what Trump said, which you don't know and I do, and you ask, but you're interrupting when I'm trying to tell you. And that's weird. It's like you don't want to know because it's defeating you. However, see, Doc, I didn't want to do this because I get
why
mean when I
not?
debate. I'm too competitive.
I don't care.
because because you're
I
just so
fucking
wrong, and I
hate
like
Mike.
you,
He's
and
a
I hate
fucking
beating you up.
asshole, and he's picking
I
on me.
agree. Trump
And
is
we're
an
gonna fight.
asshole in every
Mike
way,
is gonna
shape,
come
and
to
form.
Miami. I'm gonna lure him here. I'm gonna tell him, hey, we're gonna go hang, and then I'm gonna fucking have a gang of Cubans jump him. No, I'm not gonna do that.
Exactly it.
No,
80
we're cool. I don't care.
is
You can
right.
beat me up all you want.
Yeah, no, we're cool. I don't want you to think, dude. It's the
No,
point that,
you're the
like,
one
I'm a,
saying
you know,
that
I
you're
do this, but
acting
what
like
I'm
an
saying is,
asshole.
look, man, 50 cents a gallon is drastic to anyone. 50 cents a gallon is
Not
drastic to anyone. Most people
okay.
feel
If we
like
have
gas coming down 50 cents a gallon is a chunk. Now, let me finish. Let me finish because you interrupted to stop an adjective. You didn't like the adjective I used. So you didn't let me make my point because my point is so valid, which
okay,
is Trump made a point. The point holds. We are getting ships through without Iran being able to stop us. Oil prices are coming down. Historically in America, when are all the gas prices the highest, John? When?
summer.
Yes, July 4th. It starts the second week of June is when they start racking up the prices because they slow walk your ass on them. So by July 4th, you're paying the most and you're not so mad about it because they started slow walking you in June. You don't think that those greedy fucking oil traders aren't taking every advantage and option to do this? Bro, pay attention to the markets, dude. Like,
We
okay,
are
here's the thing.
12 days.
Me and you
Uh,
personally, I absolutely, okay, not debating, right? Like, push the debate aside.
okay.
Unhappy with the Iran war, feel like it wasn't needed, feel like we could have done 100 other things, feel like Trump is doing way too much for Israel to the point of I think it is damaging us in serious ways. Now, to a point, and this makes me unhappy, but if you pay attention, okay, but and so there's that. But in the debate, it is valid. And if Trump freaking pulls this off, you got to admit, bro, it'll be the most gangster, badass, Godfather, Tony Soprano, American fucking thing ever. And that is we become the most powerful country via oil and resource and AI technology and on the and space exploration and on the other side, we have the baddest fucking military. Tell me that's not the best. Dude, he's trying. He's trying. Who has ever even tried to do that before?
Who has tried to
It,
get us over as a military power and a space power and
dude, if you saw how slow
I
motion
mean
you were looking,
Reagan?
not for nothing, but dude, you know your slow mo in the thing. It looks so creepy. Because like I
I'm
think
gonna
you're
have to
so
watch
mad, and I
this
realize it's just
afterwards.
slow.
No, it's probably just the
Because I'm over
connection.
here just rah rah rah. You're
I
just like,
I really need to shell out the money for StreamYard, I think, unfortunately, or find something better than what I'm using. But
oh, next
I
time
like
we'll just
this
use
one. It's
mine. If you ever want to do a
oh
thing with me, just tell me. We'll just use mine. We'll just dial into your.
okay,
If you're cool with that, we'll just dial into your thing with
yeah,
mine. No problem. So yeah,
nice.
yeah.
But yeah,
But
no, okay. So you said off the record of the debate, you don't like the Iran war, but you're arguing
I would
for
prefer we
Trump.
didn't do it. I
So
don't think it was
you're
needed, and I think it
taking the
served Israel's.
pro-Trump position. Yeah, I mean,
Because you
come
put out a
on.
thing where I have to be pro-Trump, but
Well,
by the same
when we
token,
debated the
if
other
we're
day,
in
you
it,
were doing pro-Trump when we were off air. So I was like, okay, well, you
no,
seem
not during the war.
strongly
I told you I was disappointed in the war. It was the one thing I didn't want, and it was the one thing I felt like was going to kill his momentum with
legacy.
his people because he really ran hardcore on no new war. And even if this makes sense in so many ways, you see, that's the problem. I can say this makes sense in so many ways. The problem is he ran on no wars, and the tiny hat consortium wants it so freaking bad that even if he does go in there and do the right thing, it's not gonna matter. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. I think that he's definitely ruining his legacy. This war was not needed. It was definitely for the Mark Levin types, if you catch my drift. And I think he sold out his base for his new base, which is the Mark Levin types, right? I think we agree there. Yes.
Mhm.
See, now you're in
It's
slow motion.
disappointing. Now, you wanna know what I think is happening?
What's that?
Sorry, you see, yeah, but I'm like, just pull it up on your phone or something. Um, uh, I think they're giving Trump the Biden treatment. And what I mean by that is everything is now kind of being set up to protect JD Vance, right?
Oh
JD
yeah, that's why
Vance,
he's
like
kind of backed off of all of the
supposedly
positions. Yeah, I know. I agree.
that he came out like going supposedly this memo just leaked of him oh no it was on CNN, this whole Jake Tapper like just piece, right, like just a piece, like not news, and it was Jake Tapper going, on of what is it, of October 2025, the situation filled up with Trump's cabinet, all except for the president himself, all deciding that this Epstein fiasco was out of control, all deciding. And JD Vance himself gave the directive, we've got to get those files released. Literally, CNN is doing this whole thing on JD Vance trying to go against Trump to get the files released. Now he's going to be on The View next week. So I
JD
believe
Vance
the
is
powers that be going to be on The View next week. Yeah.
wow.
So I believe the powers that be have made the decision that they're going to do what they did with Biden with Trump, which was let him be the old man and build his art, his big art that he's going to build outside of the memorial cemetery. So it's like let him build his art, let him, feel like he's in charge, and let's set up and groom and start setting JD Vance up and separating Vance from Trump in the voters' mind. And you watch, it's going to
Yeah,
come down to Vance did not want the war in Iran and tried to fight Trump, and Trump wouldn't listen. You watch, buddy. You watch. It's coming. On
and
everything. That's what they're going to do.
they're hedging their bet because they both the establishment loves both JD Vance and Marco Rubio because they are JD Vance is a CIA guy, right, with Palantir. And Rubio is an Israel first fucking neocon who tried to wrap himself in a Tea Party wrapper, but no one bought that shit. And so, they put Marco Rubio in at Secretary of State, and they put Vance in at Vice President. And either way, whichever one of them two comes out ahead, they win. Doesn't matter.
I mean, but do we lose? I legit am asking, like, do we lose if they win? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I don't. Here's the thing, bro. I'm gonna be honest. We haven't talked about this part, but I read Hillbilly Elegy. I come from a I don't know if you know this, but I never met my father. I grew up in a one-bedroom apartment with just my mother. I have no brothers or sisters. Once again, never met the motherfucker. So it was just me and my mom most of my life. I grew up extremely poor.
Hold
And I
on,
read
hold on.
Hillbilly Elegy,
You
and
you
JD
never
Vance is a single.
you never met your dad?
Correct, correct. Ever, never laid eyes on them. Yeah, rock on. Anyway, because what I like, that joke never gets old. So anyway, the thing is, although I appreciate the fire alarm smoke detector was money. I like that one. Anyway, so
And come
yes,
on,
I grew
Jesse
up
Lee
very black,
Peterson, he
very black.
black. Hey,
So
I
I
knew
liked
my
Vince,
dad,
man.
and he was
I
never
liked him,
around.
and then
So
let me finish. Let me tell my story. So then I liked Vince. So then when Vince came out for Trump, I thought it was cool, right? Because I was like, you know what Vance is doing? Vance is like, you know what? I hated Trump for what I thought he was. I sat down with the man. I understand him better. I see Tulsi's on board. I see RFK Jr.'s on board. I see Elon is on board. This is a different game with different people, and we're going to make real change. I'm in. And then come to find out, maybe he's, one of the most shady of them all. You can't stop doing slow mo now that you see yourself. I got it. Told you. I told you it was creepy. I told you. Like, imagine you're going back and forth with someone and you look and they're just staring. You're like, what do you want? What? What, John? What? I'm getting nothing. See? See? See?
it is
Imagine you're debating.
it's happening on both ends because I see you jump to slow mo from time to time too. Dallas, you made a comment I wanted to address about the at least Trump didn't use the entire national oil reserve to lower the price of gas by 2 cents for a single week. It wasn't only that; it was to bail out the European countries too, which I fuck the European countries in my personal opinion. Like they wanted the war with Russia. I didn't, but the Biden wanted to keep backing Ukraine, which is why their whole situation got fucked, which is why he went and sold all that gas to send to Europe, and why we didn't have a strategic national oil reserve again until Trump got back, basically. So yeah, fuck that guy too. Like I don't, Adolis, I'm not a fucking lefty. I know I've seen you allude to that I'm giving out Marxist talking points, but I'm like the furthest thing from a fucking Marxist that you could be. I'm like a
Man,
far right
yeah,
libertarian.
I know. You're from that
No, I
South
know
Florida
you
area where
know.
y'all hate that shit. And fair and good for you, but um and I don't think that. I think that you fall in line with some internet talking points that lean that way, and you don't realize it. That's what I think. Because I mean, Marxism it's brilliant about infection, right? For instance, right? It's infection versus conversion. So, and I'm just using this as an example. And I am a proud Christian, a proud failed Christian. I fail every day. I'm not a fake one because I the whole point of being a Christian is you admit every day I am a sinner and I'm messed up and I need something greater than myself to keep me from being just a mess. And I do, and that is God. So, yes, I thank God every day for everything I have because I believe He gave it to me. So, there is
Yeah,
that.
definite.
Anyway, past that, it's conversion, right, versus infection. So, to be a Christian, you have to convert, right? You have to decide that you are going to change. You have to say a prayer. You have to ask God through Jesus into your life and to lead you. You have a conversion, right? A spiritual conversion, or it's infection. Addiction is a very easy form of infection. As somebody who does not drink alcohol because of addiction, I can tell you it's one of those. You don't convert. You don't one day go, I'm an alcoholic and my life's a mess and I pound liquor every day. That's not how it works. It's infection. You go to the bar, you have a couple, then you have a couple more. And then when your friends can stop and go home, you need to get beers on the way home. And then you need to pound those beers. And then those beers don't
And
work.
then
So you need
before
to
you
make sure you
know it,
always have
you're
a
drinking
bottle.
a 12 pack every day at least. Yeah, I mean, not with beers, more with
Exactly.
alcohol, but yeah, I've been there. I've
Yeah,
been there.
man. And so that's infection, right? That is infection. So it's conversion or infection. And Marxism is so freedom is almost conversion in that you have to decide I am accountable and responsible for me and my life, and I'm going to live that way. And and I have accountability and responsibility to the people next to me to be the best man I can. And they have that accountability and responsibility too, right? To the point of what we have is valuable and we're going to defend it. We're going to take care of it and defend it. When you have neighbors that feel the same way, you all have a great neighborhood, oddly
Yeah,
enough. You know what I mean? That's why they take that from us. That's why they take that from us. But anyway, um, yeah, man, it's whereas, Marxism is great at infection. Marxism is, oh man, these people are poor and these big greedy people are mean to them. I agree. Okay, well, let's get a union where these people can be a group and then speak to the ownership and not worry about just one guy losing his job if 1,000 people agree with him. Okay, well, that's not a bad thing. And oh man, there's some homeless, hungry people in my town. Okay, well, let's couple 3 4 times a week, let's cook some food out of our church kitchen and give it to them. Well, that's not a bad thing. Like, none of those things are bad, but when you turn around and it's Skid Row and everybody's on fence and you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And you're throwing fire bombs at cops. You know what I'm saying? That's infection. Yeah.
I completely agree, Dallas. Like, I love Mike to death. Like, we're going at each other extra hard just because it's funny and it's entertaining. Like, that's kind of the whole point. If we can't make it argumentative and fun for you guys to see us, like, getting heated, I texted him before the debate. I was like, if it gets heated, that's great. Uh, that's the whole point, though. We can have these debates. And Mike is cool, man. Like, even if we start yelling at each other, calling each other retards, tomorrow we'll have another fucking show. I don't care. I love Mike. No, no homo.
Yeah, no, that's the homie. That's why we're doing this, man. I felt honestly, I saw that John had so much to offer. It wasn't really doing anything. And, Thursdays were kind of, I just wanted to do something with you and you were down. And I saw you really didn't have anything. And I was like, man, let's like kind of weekly going. And you have a lot going in your life. I just figured you didn't have a
Yeah,
weekly
yeah, yeah.
show
But
or
Thursday's
daily
great.
show or any kind of stream going. I was like, yeah, man. I was like, let's do a late night stream. Why not? Because
Yeah,
you'll let me yell. You'll be like, let him yell. This is great. He'll yell and scream. It's great.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I fucking love it. I'm just mad that you're slow mowing.
All right, all right.
So
So what do you think about that? Uh, yeah, drinking on the job used to be my thing too. Sober. Um, yeah, Dallas is right, man. Let me ask, what do you think about that idea that they're kind of moving Trump out of the way? Do you? I agree that it's got to be Rubio, or our guy Vance. But what do you
yeah.
think right now about them kind of Bidening Trump and going, okay, you worry about the UFC, you worry about your little pet projects, and we're going to run the White House now. Cancel this just right.
Well, here's the thing, right? Before the election, I was at the point where, oh shit, cancel this podcast, rated the stream. Thank you.
Let's go
Fucking
cancel this podcast.
hopefully that wasn't too loud. That sounded pretty loud, but
Yeah.
um probably just blew out everyone's eardrums. But no, as far as like the Vance thing, right? Like before the election, I had a list of people. I was like, he needs to pick one of these people as his VP. They just tried to kill the guy. Like he can't pick someone weak or someone questionable, right? And then he picked Vance. He waited. They were pressuring him. Remember, the RNC was like, the Republican Party was like, you need to pick someone already. We need the guy. And he was like, he kept on putting it off and putting it off. Then they tried to kill him like a week before the RNC. Then he goes to the RNC and then he picks Vance. And I was like, oh fuck, he picked the CIA guy, right? That was my thought. I wasn't gonna vote for him. I was not gonna vote this time. I was gonna sit it out. But then Kamala and Hillary and what's his name? The guy who ran against Bush, the Skull and Bones guy, John Kerry, and a couple of other high level Democrats started saying, the Constitution, it's great, but it's an obstacle to governance. And I was like, hold up, no, come on, don't do this. So then that's when I was like, I have no choice. You guys psyopted me into voting Trump, so I voted Trump, and he started saying some cool base shit but between then and the election. So I was like, maybe I'm just overreacting to this whole thing about fucking about Vance. Maybe Vance really is good. Whatever. I was trying to cope and figure it out, and then like I said, the first 100 days were great. The first 100 days, if he would have just focused on passing the executive orders that he signed into law, the ones from the first 100 days, we would be awesome. And I would be like, damn, okay, I'm glad I voted for Trump. I was right to do it. But then after that first 100 days, then, the Israel stuff, like it was just, he just he went hard in the paint for them. I mean, you knew he was going to go hard in the paint for them. You kind of voted for him in spite of it, because that's kind of always been his thing since his first term. But, then, okay, we're sending them more weapons and more money. And then we're sending Ukraine more money again. What the fuck is going on? And then all of a sudden we're bombing Iran, but it's not going to turn into a war. And then now we're at war with Iran, right? So, like, and then the Venezuela thing, and honestly, I think I said this last week when we were on Daniel's stream. The Venezuela thing, I'm glad anytime a communist country falls, I'm glad that we asserted our dominance in our hemisphere. I just wish he would have gotten Americans into a better position in America, like living better, not feeling so bad from the inflation. And if he would have done that first and then taken out Venezuela, I would have been like, hey, I'm indifferent on the Venezuela thing. It's good. We don't have a communist dictator in our backyard. But he did that first, and then he continued the Iran war after that. And it's like, okay, I guess America
So
lost.
you mean he usurped an evil communist dictator and he wasn't nice enough about it, and that's your
No,
issue?
no, no. I just wanted him to take care of Americans first. That's my issue with
But
that whole
that's
thing.
how he's
If
taking care of
Americans,
America. How do you take care of America? Okay, bro. But okay, so if you have kids, right, and you want to take care of them, and water is important. They're going to need water, and you don't live in a place where you just turn it on, right? But you can go secure a stream. Now it's not in your house, right? You have to go like a couple miles away and you go secure this beautiful, all natural artesian well of all natural water, but you have to leave your house. Now, if a bunch of people in your house are calling you a piece of shit father because you left the house to go get that water, what would you tell them?
you have plenty of water in the house, though, is the problem.
Yep.
It's not like we're an
No, if
oil
you
poor
don't,
nation.
if you don't, if you don't, if you can't do the thing where I ask you a specific question in a simile and you go, yeah, but no, if you don't, if you don't have enough, are you? See this,
I understand what you're saying, but that's a hypothetical that doesn't apply because we do
right?
live in an oil rich nation. Drill, baby, drill.
Oh my
That's what he
god!
needed to
But
do.
not that oil rich, and it.
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
We're
Oh, okay, man.
I,
Look. Okay, how about this? How about this? How about this? Okay, you live in a place where the cost of getting that water to your family goes up consistently every year. The people in charge of that water aren't taking care of it, and you know that you could be poisoning your children with that plenty of water that the government is supplying you that you're trusting. And you could go get your own source of water, but you'd have to leave your house. Now, if the people in the house started saying you were a piece of shit for leaving the house to go secure an everlasting, the most water in the world, literally, what would you say to them?
yeah, I mean, like I said, if Americans were doing better at the time he went after Venezuela, and then maybe if instead of saying,
I can't
"Hey,
with this
we're
guy. I can't with this guy. Because you know if you answer my questions, you lose, so you don't answer my question.
No, I'm
You know what I'm
answering.
saying?
It was it, it was the timing of it, right? Like if he would have gotten the
Trump's
economy
like,
on track,
whatever.
right? To where Americans are like, "Hey, I feel like I can breathe just a little bit again." And then he wanted to go after Venezuela. Hey, whatever. I'm cool.
How would he do that? How do you do that? So how should we do that?
Well, you could start by lowering taxes, the tariffs, put those into place for real to bring jobs back. He kind of said he was going to do tariffs to bring the jobs back, right? To bring the manufacturing. And then he ended up just using tariffs as like a toy that he would tease other nations with. Like, hey, I got a big dick. You want to see my big dick? Oh, there it goes. And then he puts it away again.
Did it give us better? Did it give us better and more favorable trade
The,
relationships with other countries?
the purpose of it was supposed to be to bring manufacturers back to America and make them build stuff here again. Sure,
And they
did it
are. And there's
did
a
it
lot of big manufacturing going on.
did
But
it
it
help?
doesn't make
I think
the
it did at
news. I
first,
mean,
but those now because of I don't remember if it
and
was the
those
Supreme
factories are
Court
being
or
built. That's the problem, man, dude. You live with a Twitter brain, okay? Twitter brain has rotted you, okay? Rotted your brain. You live with Twitter brain, and when you hear two of the largest factories on earth are coming to America and being built, and it's going to take 2 to 4 years to build them, and you hear about that last year because so much information is coming at you at Twitter. You're like, yeah, that's bullshit. It's like it takes a little while. This we don't live in Twitter and McDonald's real world. To build a factory that's going to employ 30,000 people takes some time, bro. It just does. And if you're like, yeah, but what's he doing now? The factories are being built. You know what I mean? How many? How many? And then what about data centers? Right now, are we pro or anti
I'm
data center? I think. Go ahead.
gone. You think?
No, I'm waiting. What do you think about data centers?
I think they're important, but I don't like how they're doing it because they're, for instance, there's that one that they're putting into Utah, right? That's the size of New York City, 2,000 Walmart supercenters in one data center. That's gonna destroy the people that live in that town in ways that that town is not going to be able to handle. Their electricity is going to skyrocket through the roof. The water is going to. Here's the thing about data centers that's a little scary. The amount of water that they need to run to keep those GPU supercomputers cooled is insane. And I don't know where they're going to get that water from. Like we can put desalination plants out there, right? But they're doing this in Utah, so there's not really a way to desalinate anything close enough. But also, if we start putting that many desalination plants in the ocean, I don't know what that causes as far as like, are they also pulling out the salt from the ocean? Because if they aren't pulling out the salt from the ocean water that they desalinate and they're just dumping it right back in, that's going to destroy like marine life on a scale that we can't yet comprehend. So I have a mixed opinion
Yeah,
on it.
yeah.
I also, I know that these data centers are going to in part be used by the feds to monitor the American citizens. I don't like that one bit. And I don't agree with the argument of we have to beat China because if not they're going to win. Because China isn't going to win. Because all they're doing right now is taking our top models, like ChatGPT, the newest ChatGPT, the newest Claude, and doing what's called distillation. I'm kind of big in the AI stuff because I think it's important to know about it, and I think it's important to learn it, like learn how to use it to your advantage. But they're doing a thing called distillation where they're basically getting a bunch of Claude accounts and ChatGPT accounts and then running questions through it to kind of like make their own data and then put that into their models. So they're not going to beat us because they're not doing any of their own data collection or research. They're just taking what we've already done, kind of like what they do with all of our IP, really, right? So I don't necessarily agree with the whole we have to beat China because if not they're going to win. And that's not really true. Well, Elon does
I
does
agree. I
Elon does want to build them in space and have them solar powered. I don't know how he gets water to them out there. Um, but that would be better than having them here on Earth because that wouldn't affect our, you know, our towns that are gonna have to fork out the extra money for all that electricity.
Yeah, they're saying the one in Utah is going to be self-generating. The only concern is the water, and that's because it's like dozens of miles away to the nearest town. But that once again is just what they're saying, sort of like nuclear reactors and all of that fun stuff too. I think that these are the new nuclear reactors, and I think that unfortunately something bad is going to have to happen. Like a whole town's water supply is going to have to be polluted, and they're all going to have to drink bottled water for a week, and major news is going to have to get out there, cover it, kind of thing, before we do anything about it. Because I feel like with shit like this in our history, something bad has to happen before we hit the brakes. That's what I think. Also, positive, my hope, if you remember, I mean, the computing that's in your phone, at one time it would have taken up rooms, huge office buildings to get that level of computing power. And they're already talking about shrinking the size of data centers, making them easier to build and quicker to build because they're smaller. So I do believe that smaller, more efficient ways to get what they're producing now is coming. That's what they're talking about, and clearly, if you're in that space, you would like to do that. If you could build a data center as easily as you could build a house or an office building versus some huge monstrous thing in the middle of the desert, you would, right? So,
Yeah, of course. I did see something. I didn't. It almost looked satire, so I don't know if it was or not because it's getting really hard to tell these days. Just because the world has gone so crazy that it's like this could actually be real. I don't know yet, but apparently, Jensen Huang. Do you know who he is? He's the head of Nvidia,
mhm.
the company that makes all the GPUs that power like 99% of all data centers for AI. He apparently is trying to
Right.
convince people to, hey, if you set up this supercomputer in your house or on the picture showed it on the outside of the house, we'll pay your electricity bill and give you 22 grand a year. I don't know if that's true or not. It seems like it could be, but it's hard to know because it almost seemed like satire the way it was written. It was like it seemed really excessively written, but I don't know if that was true or not.
Oh, the only thing I absolutely know is that they're offering people crazy money. I know two people that I know one guy who 100 acres, and I don't know how much he got, but it was crazy money. Millions and millions, like millions and like dude gave 9 million away. And I think that's probably for his tax purposes. That's how much money he had that he gave 9 million away for tax purposes on 100 acres, which isn't that
Damn.
much where I live, right? So, I mean, you're not going to sell 100 acres for 9 million bucks out here. Just not going to happen. And I'm talking country, undeveloped ass country ass shit, right? Not like, city acres. So
Yeah.
you're not going to just sell 100 acres of grass for more than 9 million. So, but if a data center wants to come, from what I hear, they're talking, you know, 100 grand an acre, 200 grand an acre. Like, what is it going to take? Because that they have the money. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think they're definitely gonna buy up all the acreage that they can, and it honestly makes me wonder about Bill Gates because remember he had bought up all that farmland. He's like the largest owner of farmland in the United States, and it makes me wonder if he bought that up knowing data centers are coming. They're gonna need a lot of land and resources, so
Yeah.
it makes me wonder if he bought that all up knowing that, so that then he can uh, profit like a motherfucker once they come looking for more land. He's always ahead of the curve.
I
Like, I mean,
absolutely.
but yeah, so I don't know. I'm a mixed bag on data centers. Like, I think if they can do it in a way where they're not gonna, harm the local population of people, like in Utah, for instance. Like I've heard that they're loud as fuck, and that the people are going to be able to hear it from where they live. That I'm not cool with. Like, they shouldn't be a nuisance to the people who are already there. I don't know if they're going to deliver on that promise that they keep on saying they are. And yeah, I don't know if you saw the Tucker Carlson interview with Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank, Mr. Wonderful, where he kept on asking him,
I did
"Oh,
not
what?"
see that interview, but I know Kevin. I love Kevin.
That was a really good interview. Kevin kept on dodging the question when he said, "But who like do these people not have a right to say they don't want this in their backyard?" And he's like, "Well, the city council voted on it." And Tucker was like, "That's 3 people. So you guys sent them a bunch of money and bribed them." And he didn't say it like as a direct accusation, but he said it in a worded way where he can't get sued for saying that they bought off the politicians. But it's like, it's 3 people. How much does that really cost? And it's true. It's true. So I don't know. Data centers is a mixed bag for me. We kind of need them, but I mean, I don't know what the solution should be. The thing is, they have to be in a place where
Kevin, that's
where it's livable. Like they can't just put it literally in the middle of nowhere, because people have to live nearby to work the data centers, right? So they need small towns where people
no, they just
can
have
move into.
robots. Like, you don't need that many people, right? Like, I don't know why they don't do aircraft carriers and not actual aircraft carriers, of course. But if you've ever seen one, they're like cities. They're huge.
Yeah. Well,
They're monsters, right?
an aircraft carrier would be better because you would want that thing to be defensible, right? So I wouldn't want to send that
Well,
out
and
just on a
it's on the
giant boat.
water.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the water, so it's not bothering anybody. And yeah, man, it's safer for Americans because if we do get attacked, of course they're going to want to bomb our data centers first,
Yeah.
or it'll be high
And
up on the list of things they'll want to take out. If you take it out in the water, you're not hurting the people. And we could still live the way we're living without data centers. Shockingly, I know children. That's a surprise to believe. But I'd rather have offshore targets than onshore targets, and it also give us a nice heads up for what's coming. So and I know there's radar and all of that stuff. I get it. I get it. I'm just saying, no one that I've seen has talked about putting them on the water. I was thinking about aircraft carriers and then these giant cruise ships. I don't know if you've seen these
oh
freaking
yeah.
monstrous
No,
cruise
cruise
ships,
ships are ridiculous. I
but
live in Miami, so I've seen they have this new
no,
one. It's
yeah,
called the fuck. I can't remember what it's called, but it's Royal Caribbean, and it's like it looks like something out of a cartoon. It's that big. Like when you're driving up the bridge and you see it's parked there. It's like that just doesn't even look. It looks ridiculous. Like it really does.
it's one of those things you see way before you get to it. You see way off in the distance. You're like, what is that giant thing? And it's a boat.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I just think to myself, wouldn't it be easier and cheaper just to build them out? Like, build some giant floating platforms that can hold 10,000 people, whatever, a few thousand people, or hold the weight of F-16 jets and fuelers and all of that. So it'll have no problem holding a data center, and you can build it out to be as big as a small town on the water, and just put all this stuff out there on the water, and
I
then
think
people can access it.
the
Yeah, man.
difficulty with that would be powering it, because I don't, even if you made the entire ship out of solar panels, I don't know that that would be a ship you can at least navigate to where there is power, so, or where there is sun,
I
so
would
it's
say
not like.
offshore. Like I said, it would be, yeah, it would be an offshore thing, right? So it wouldn't be like way out in the ocean. It would be offshore. You know what I mean? Like in a
Yeah.
bay or a harbor, or you could easily kind of run power to it. So.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I also know you're right. The amount of power that you would need to run to it might be very restrictive. I get that. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're
well,
right.
the other
As long as
issue
you
with
just
those big
run power to
ships,
it the way, but
those engines have to run continuously. Basically, when they stop the engines on those like cruise ships, they have to tear down the entire engine. So like during COVID, you would see the ships would come into port, there's no one coming in or out because the ships were shut down, but they would have to just run back and forth to islands and keep the engines going because when you stop them, you have to tear them down and rebuild them. So that would be the only other thing. The fuel on that those things would take just in running constantly with the amount of data centers that they want to build and that they're gonna need to build to provide the AI future that they want to provide. They're gonna need to have a lot of fuel. Which thank God they got Venezuela, I guess, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah. I mean, they're talking about it's all being gonna be, uh, electric energy soon, supposedly. I know, dude. I know. I'm at that point in life. What I really hate is like I'm at that point where I can't have these conversations with any kind of seriousness anymore. Where I'm like, oh no, bro, I read an article and it's gonna be all electric in 10 years and bop bop bop. And it's like, no, because 10 years ago I read that. You know what I mean? And 10 years and you just I don't believe shit anymore, bro. I really
No,
don't.
I don't either.
What I believe
I,
is I believe in 2 things. I believe most humans will default to the easiest path, the least amount of pain and the most easiest way to get to what they're willing to settle for. It's just that and I find this the most interesting thing in humans, we're all willing to settle for a little bit different, a little bit more, a little bit less, and you're willing to work to the level you're willing to settle for or hustle, whatever it is. And hustling's work. Don't get me wrong. You ever hustle? It's work. But anyway, I believe that humans will always default to the easiest path to what they think they want immediately, man. You know what I mean? And then
yeah,
the other thing I default to is that wealthy and powerful people will always behave and think like wealthy and powerful people, even if you think they're not going to. Case in point, Donald Trump. Okay, and the gangster moves is what they do. Wealthy, powerful people move like gangsters. They just fucking do. Watch The Sopranos. If I can give anybody any advice, and I understand you want to hold hands and you want the world to be lovely and and why can't I have this and why can't we have this and I want these files and these people are but yeah. Guess what? Welcome to it. People been fucking weaker people and murdering weaker people since you can open the earliest book you can find where people can write hieroglyphics. Okay? Since there were hieroglyphics, the more powerful fucks, eats, or kills the least, the lesser of. That's how it works. And we live in one of the most evolved societies to ever exist on the planet where we do that far less than anyone else, yet we still do it. And that's the way the world works. And so if we don't start killing,
I
fucking,
mean,
or eating some other people, they're gonna come
less?
kill, fucking, eat us.
Do we do it less?
Say
Really
what?
though, I don't feel like we do. Like I love America, right? Like don't take this as me being like some America hater,
Holy shit,
right?
grandma's
But
boy.
oh shit, what's up, Kevin? You should be on this fucking panel right now, you fucker. I love Kevin. He's my boy. Um,
I
fucking
follow him already, man. I love it when people like you follow outside of your streams drop. You're like, oh, dude, I'm a fan of yours. So yeah.
yeah. Me and Kevin have been buddies for like close to a year now. But yeah, no. I'm not one of these America haters. I love America. It's the best country in the world. But also, like every country is really shitty, right? Like when Trump, remember when they asked Trump, they said something, and he's like, "Well, America does really." It was about Putin, I think. They asked him something about Putin's an evil man who does evil things, and it's like, "Well, America does evil things," and yeah, we do evil things. I don't think we do less evil things. I think we just are better at justifying our reasons for the evil things we do, right? But yeah, I mean, I'm not like an America hater. It's
Absolutely,
like
man.
I w- I'd rather live in a country where we are the freest if it means we're oppressing other countries, which sucks, but I'd rather be in that situation than be in one of these shitty countries where you have no freedom and you're getting oppressed and your country's oppressing you, you know. I mean, yeah.
Can't make an
It's
omelet without breaking some eggs, I always say.
Kevin, it has been like 50 years since I've streamed. Now, I streamed about 2 or 3 months ago. Then I ran into a bunch of health problems, and now I'm making my comeback. God damn it! But yeah. So what
Dun,
is the
dun, dun,
next
dun,
topic
dun,
on the
dun,
agenda?
dun, dun,
What's your
dun, dun.
stance
I'm giving you your
on?
theme music. Dun, dun.
It's more like this, right? That's the theme music that we need. Now,
I like it. Yes, let's go.
what's your stance on huh? Who said come? Now you lost me, Kevin. Um, so what are the things that you don't like that Trump has done? I know you don't like the war, but you're able to defend it. But I know you don't like it. We've
Yeah.
discussed that already. Okay, so what are the things that you don't like that he's done outside of the war?
Um, if I said letting Charlie Kirk get killed, would that be too far outside the line?
I mean, no, because I think you know my stance on that is a very controversial. You could say. I think that you know he let BB determine how that was going to happen, and then just turned us a blind eye to it. Because I don't believe a 30-06 just got
Can I be
stopped by
honest,
his
man? I
neck.
think
He just
no, man,
throws.
and I'll be honest. I think I have such, yeah, I have such. What do you want to call it? I guess, conspiracy PTSD, right? That I just kind of stay out of it now. Like I used to be so Butler was the last one I was just so all over, right? And it's like, oh, I'm literally put on a pot of coffee. I'm not going to bed for, 26 hours. I'm getting into every bit of this. You know what I mean? Here I come, Reddit. Here I come, every source I know, that kind of thing. So now I just want to come on your back. Anyway, check out the chat if you get that. So but anyway, um shit, what were we talking about?
You butler and you conspiracy it all night with your pot of coffee
Oh, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah. So,
your
long
weird
story short,
backdoor
yeah, man,
websites.
after I used to be on everything, right? Uncovering the truth, bup, bup, bup. But honestly, man, I really thought that this administration was gonna blow the lid off some shit. And as we talked about, I just and so because you've sat and listened to me, so I can just say this and you'll go, "Oh yeah, he doesn't believe shit anymore because of this." But I'll just say the name Stacey Plaskett. And if you don't know who Stacey Plaskett is, I highly recommend you look up who she is a United States senator. But uh uh when you realize that we had somebody so fucking ice cold, dead to rights, indisputably 100% guilty of colluding with Epstein in congressional hearings, and we had them dead to rights. And not only could we not censor them, they got to stay on the finance committee, the
Yep.
military committee,
And
and
the
the what?
secrets or whatever.
Ways and Means committee.
Yeah.
The money, the military, and where the money goes, what is funded. They didn't even remove her from her special seats and her committees, which, as you know, is what makes you powerful in that game, is what special groups you're a part of, right?
Yep.
So she's on the most powerful groups and they didn't even remove her. And it's like, after that, you're like, oh, but they can pull money out of WIC. But if I say, hey, I don't think they should pull money out of WIC, I'm some flaming fucking liberal. And I know a lot of people are anti-WIC, whatever. It's not food stamps. It's just fruits and vegetables that most of the time get thrown away or
Yeah,
wasted
it's stuff for
anyway. But
kids.
and I think we should be forcing, as I work a lot with my community, and I think we should be forcing these. But I think we should cut food stamps and increase fruits and vegetables because these kids ain't eating fucking fruits and vegetables anymore. It's a whole nother story. But yeah, man, voter ID is another one. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
that's
and I know a lot of this stuff isn't necessarily Trump's fault, but I feel like between the whole Epstein debacle, Iran war, what he's doing with the Chinese, the fact that they've basically taken their foot off the gas and some would argue put their foot on the brake when it comes to deportations. When they ain't got to the what was it? Low end 7 million, high end 15 million they let in.
Un-
They ain't
That's
got anywhere
well,
close to that, brother.
I think the accepted estimate is 10 to 15 million. It's probably closer to 20 million. That's just based on the numbers that they know. How many got in
And they
through
ain't got
tunnels
anywhere
or
close to getting rid of. It's not
no,
like they got rid of 5 million guys. Well, we got half of them. They didn't even
I
come close to that. Not even
I gotta look
10%.
and see what the updated numbers are in the last I think it was 3 or 4 months ago when I looked it up, but it was like if they continue at the current pace, and this was after they stopped the Minnesota thing, so it was like, all right, they already kind of slowed down, so they're probably not continuing at the current pace. They by the end of Trump's term, they would have only deported not counting the self deports, but they would have deported like 1.25 million, which is not anywhere near enough because it's not just the 10 to 15 million that got in under Biden. It's the probably close to 30, 40 million that have been here all this time, you know? And then
Yep.
also
Yep.
like
Agreed.
when
Yeah.
when he was like, "Oh, the farm workers can stay." And also this thing that doesn't affect me, the hospitalities industry workers. Like, come on, bro. I would love to get a job at a
You're
Trump.
saying the hospitality workers don't affect Trump?
No, I'm being sarcastic. Of course,
I was gonna say,
Trump.
yeah, no, there was yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've there's two
I gotta
Trump.
ask Adelis this.
Go for it.
I just real fast. He says, if you think Israel killed Charlie, you've been watching too much Candace. Do
Um,
you think that the official narrative is accurate and correct on that, or do you feel like there were other people at play more than just the official narrative? Ad, that's just the question I have because I'm not necessarily saying it was Israel. I don't know who it was, but I definitely don't think that the official narrative holds by any stretch. And if the official narrative it doesn't hold, it means the people had to have been looking the other way on at least, if not officially in on. And that sucks. And I don't want to think that. And I don't know who, but I sure can't. I mean, that official narrative is bro. You know what I'm saying? Come on, you
I've
know.
shot
So
a
yeah.
30-06, and there's no way his neck held up at 150 yards from a 30-06 bullet. His fucking head would have been splattered off to the side, or not splattered, but his whole neck would have been ripped off, and he would have been decapitated from a neck shot in a 30-06 at that
Chunk.
short
It would have
range.
blown the chunk. Yeah. Yeah. It wouldn't have been a pop and squirt. It would have been a
No,
chunk of flesh because it takes a 30-06 takes flesh and shit with it as it rips through you. I know I
a
fired one too. It's
a
not like
30-06
what
is a
that
very
was. In
big
fact,
bullet.
man, yeah. It tears through something. It's like a fucking so there are bullets that pierce and bullets that tear, right? And blow a hole through. More like a cannonball than like a knife cut, right? Or a
Yeah,
dart, right? And 30-06s blow a cannon hole. I've shot a deer with one. You know what I mean? They're made to take out big things. And yeah,
yeah,
man,
at
it wouldn't
distance, at
whatever
distance.
got Charlie would not take out a deer. Sorry,
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
it didn't look like it. And now, do I know for a fact? Can I prove it was Israel? No, I can't prove it was anyone. That's besides the point, though. But there was a lot of weird shit on that day. If you look at, there's a video that got put out of a guy who was collecting a lot of the videos from that day from different people's cell phones from the event itself, and there's a lot of crazy extremely high speed drones flying around the event that day. Like there are drones that can go as fast as like an F1 car, and there were drones there that were like zipping around in the background from multiple different. If it was just one phone that you showed it to me on, I would have been like, that could have been just like a glitch on that phone. But it's like several different phones, several different
Or
angles,
AI. Yeah.
and you're seeing all kinds of drones flying around the background. Robinson, okay, when you see the shot go off, supposedly he breaks down the gun and then runs off. But when you see the video of from the that shows the rooftop, it's like you hear the bang and you see him running instantly, if it was even him. That's another thing. His name was searched in Israel like before the event, and the location was searched in Israel before the event. That's a little weird. Now, the whole thing about that is, let's say Russia was planning to take out Charlie Kirk, they could just use a VPN and then search as if they were in Israel using the VPN. So that doesn't necessarily mean that it was the Israelis, but it's just things to anytime someone gets killed, or like the Trump assassination attempt, these people get searched in Israel like every fucking time, and it's really weird because these are nobody people. So I can't tell you for sure it was Israel, but I think probably Mossad in concert with CIA, like what Redneck Renegade is saying. That's like my best guess, but it's just a guess, and I'm willing to say that. I'm not married to the idea, but it's my best estimation based on what we've seen. And also like all the Charlie saying like, why are we so tied to Israel now? And then them like kind of like ganging up on him, and what was it, the Hamptons, that meeting. A lot of weird
Yeah.
shit happening before, like leading into it. So I couldn't tell you for sure, like, oh, I know it was the Israelis. That's just my theory. Whenever you hear me say a theory that I
I
can't back up with 100% evidence, just take it with a few shovelfuls of salt.
agreed. I think here's the problem: when you have so many people with so much to gain from this guy being taken out, and they're all bad guys, don't get me wrong. But when you
Yeah.
have this many bad guys with something to gain from this guy being taken out, or this guy telling his followers that you're not a guy they should support anymore, you know what I mean? And you have so many people down the line that would be like, we can't have this guy doing that, right? Not an option. Um, it gets really, really hard, in my opinion, to trace where it's coming from, where it came from. And hey, man, I'll just say it like this: to me, one of the biggest tragedies, like, okay, and not 9/11 where it killed lots of people, as far as assassinations and taking out key figures in our lifetime, I think this is going to be one of the ones that we see as one of the key figures taken out in our lifetime, because he just repped um us. Well, not all of us, but he repped a group of people who, aren't rep at all now again. And this is what drives me crazy, is I feel like whoever did it knew we got to shut these people down. We got to shut these people off. We've got to take basically conservative people and Christian people, and this guy's going to cause real trouble. We got to shut him down. I don't know, man. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to
Yeah,
get
no, I
sad
agree.
or bitchy
I
about it. It's
and
just
here's the
very
thing.
frustrating of all the people.
I was never a big Charlie Kirk fan, right? Like I enjoyed watching his videos where he's like giving his doing his events and stuff and taking questions from the crowd. I enjoyed that stuff. But he was a big Israel guy for like 99% of his career, and I just don't agree with the all the glazing Israel all the time kind of people. I don't care if you're like, hey, I support Israel's rights to exist. Okay, just don't vote my fucking nephew to go fight in that fucking war. Like, don't put us involved in it in that way. You want to sell them weapons? Whatever, do that. I don't care. But the minute they get into some shit, they get us into some shit, and that's where I draw the line. And they have so much influence. Look, they just took out Thomas Massey by donating $32 million in a House primary against him. And then if you question that, you're an anti-Semite. But APAC, I think it was, that right on their Twitter, this is what you do. What happens when you go against Israel? Wait, what? So, which is it? You guys don't run shit with money behind the scenes, or you do, and we should be fearful of you, right? So, and they, whoever took him out, it's the biggest assassination, uh, probably since, I don't know, was MLK before JFK? Whichever one of those was the most recent. It's the biggest one since then, I think, and it's one on the right, and it's symbolic in the sense that he was the free speech guy. And even if you don't agree with Charlie Kirk, like I didn't agree with him on a lot of things, I agreed with him on a lot too, because he's pushing right wing, pro Christian messaging, be a good person messaging. So I agree with him in that stuff. I just don't agree with him on a lot of other things. Like he was pro legal immigration for a while. I'm anti all immigration, period. I don't care. Like kick out the non
Even legal,
citizens.
like
Even
no legal people should be able to come.
no, none.
Seriously.
Yes, not for a
Okay.
long time until we fix things here, right? Like we can make an exception if there's an Albert Einstein out there in the world, right? I'm fine with that.
But you got to admit
But
that's a strong stance, man. That's a very bold stance.
well,
That
the
not
stronger
a lot of
stance
people are
is
gonna have, man.
I know I'm not. I didn't come online to become popular for my opinion. I can be
Yeah, but
controversial as
deciding
fuck.
to not like a guy because he thinks that the country who's always taken immigrants since its very beginning, who has a giant statue outside of its most busy harbor saying, "Send me your poor, tired, and huddled masses." You know, the average human might be like, "Okay, well, your stance is a little bold," and
Well,
not liking a guy with the stance that legal immigration is okay.
that was
That's
a
maybe more on your thing and your
that was a
deal than
statue given
him
to us
not
by the
being
French.
likable, that being a character flaw.
That
I
was a
know.
statue given to us by the
I know where
French,
the
and
statue
I
came from.
a- and I do not support anything French. Okay, that messaging is total French, commie gobbledygook. Yeah, no, I'm actually my stance is stronger than even the most strongest. I mean, aside from the edge lords who say we need to just kill all ex people or whatever. I'm not that extreme, but my stance is like if you're here and you haven't become a citizen yet, bye bye, go back to where you came from. Try again later. That's my stance. So even if you've been here 20 years as a
If you
resident,
want to become a citizen and you haven't due to paperwork or other issues, then yeah. You know what I mean? Just because I know some great immigrants that are great people who love you want to talk about some patriotic dudes. You get you
I
some
mean, I
dudes
live
who
in
came
Miami.
here that all they wanted to do.
Cubans love America and they hate commies, but fuck them. And I'm half Cuban, so fuck them. Learn English. You want to be a patriotic American? At least learn English, motherfuckers. Like, why can't you
Yeah,
learn
no, I
English?
think you should learn English. I think to become an American, you should have to learn English, absolutely, without a
Like,
doubt.
don't
I think you should
don't get
have
me
to learn
wrong.
English. I think you should. I got.
Go on. No, go. You should have to learn English.
I'm just gonna
Continue.
say, I think you should have to learn English. I think you should have to do a year of like, I mean, room and board work, like literally, like whether it's just something municipal or something, federal highways or water systems or whatever the case. I think you should have to do a year of work like that, before you become a citizen, so you can respect that. Where it costs America $600 a month to feed you and give you water and food, basically, but you're giving us a cool, $2,000-3,000 of work a month kind of thing, and you do that year and you put that value and that hard work in, and you put some heart and soul into this soil, and you learn the language, then we can talk about you becoming a citizen because it should be that valuable. It shouldn't be that easy. It should be valuable.
We
So
should
yeah.
bring back indentured servitude. I'm down. No, serious. Like, because if you want to
And see,
be
I don't
part
see
of,
it like that.
if well, it's basically what you just said. Come work for a year, right? And then you can become a citizen, but you're working for a year for free. That's indentured servitude.
I think that's the problem with you living in Miami is that you live in like this cool hip city, South Florida town. You don't understand that, like, to me, farm work is good work. It is
No, it
good,
is good
honest,
work.
hard work,
Yes,
right?
I
I'm
don't
telling
disagree
you,
with
it's
that.
not indentured servitude. I'm telling you,
Well, no, if
being
you're
up with
telling
the
them they got to work for
sun,
free for a
and you know
year,
what I mean? And in the heat of the day, taking your break and getting back out there. You know what I mean? And making sure everything is done. That's good work, man. That is good work. And you're
It
making a
is.
difference and you're respecting your food and where it comes from. And
No, I
you
agree with
really
that.
start to fucking hate all these middlemen and the meat packers and all of these sons of bitches that hurt the farmers. And you see how they're fucking our farm. Like, you need to learn this to be an American. And most Americans don't even know this shit, man. And I'm
Most
just saying you
Americans
should
don't know
have
where their
to.
food comes from at all.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Like
anyway,
they
I'm
think
just
it
saying
just
people should
gets
learn. If
shipped.
you want to be an American, you should, yeah, learn about that shit. So yeah,
Yeah, no, I'm
sorry.
with you. Make people work a year for free for just room and board, and then we can let them be citizens if they've learned English and can pass a civics test based on the actual Constitution and not all the bullshit that they've added to it over the years.
Unless they have what is it? $10 million, one
No, I don't
million, a
even
bill.
want
How
those
much is it to
people.
get the Trump Gold Citizen? What
I
is
think you
what
have
is
to
it? How much is
invest.
it?
I think you have to invest over. I think it was 10 million, or it's at least 10 million into starting a company over here. I believe. I could be wrong on that though.
The tr- the Trump Gold Citizen card. I
Like
just
I don't like
can't.
that because then you're just
Like,
importing people to be the new slave masters. You know,
here's the
like
deal, man. You gotta laugh at him at some point, or you're really gonna like. It's gonna be an unhealthy
oh,
existence.
he's the
If you
funniest
just
president we've ever had
appreciate
by far. It's not even
the
like
gangster of it.
by far. It's not even close. There has never been a president who has made me laugh more than Trump. I will give him that. That is his fucking. That's his peak crowning achievement. Like he can make you
It's
laugh. Not even close.
I
Even
love
when it's not on
because
purpose.
I have friends way into sports, right? And it's I'm not way into basketball, but I have friends who are way into basketball, and it's so fun. They're like, "The fucking Trump came and fucked that game up," and I crack up. Like, and he fell asleep. He didn't even care, and he caused the New York Knicks to lose. And I was like, and I hope he goes to game 6 and 7 too. I love this. I love how I was like, it's so funny. Y'all are the biggest basketball fans I know. You're not even talking basketball. You're talking Trump. This is great. And they get mad because I just laugh at them. But yeah, man, it's. I mean, come on. It's really think about it for a second. Okay, this is so hard to even say. Illegal criminal aliens are ruining America. We're gonna deport them all. Close the border unless you have $10 million. We don't care how you got it. We don't care where you got it from. That's right. Give me $10 million and you get the Trump Gold Card. Immediate citizenship.
See, Maduro should have just paid $10 million to become an American citizen.
Oh, you got to admit, man. I mean, it's some gangster shit. Just like that dude he let out of prison, the Colombian drug lord he let out of prison, and then he had to get Maduro. The oil was just a side benefit of taking out a drug lord.
Oh God, yeah, it's wild. We live in interesting times. You know, I always said I'd rather have a hard but interesting life than an easy, boring life. So, at least we live in interesting times. Because if not, this would just
Yep,
be
yep.
fucking God. God help us all. It would be terrible if this, if it was, if this collapse was happening under anyone but Trump, it wouldn't be half as funny, right? Or entertaining. At least we got the entertaining out of it.
Man, you said something the other night off there that really like hit me, and I had heard it before, but you really explained it in a way that made so much sense. I was hoping we visit it just for a second, and it just the
Yeah.
way when you hit it, and then we talked about the freedom of speech attack. I was like, yes, it makes total sense because they know what they're saying. But you were talking about the Democrats wanted to lose, like
Oh yeah.
they were not like winning this election. The Kamala election wasn't their thing. They were okay with losing, kind of
Oh
basically.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, they wanted to lose. Here's the thing, right? We all know that if whoever got into power, didn't matter if it was a Democrat or Republican, two things were going to happen. One, We were going to back up Israel no matter what they wanted to do because October 7 and that whole mess, right? We knew for a fact whatever Israel wanted to do, we're going and we're defending them, full force. That's number one. Number two is that the economy is collapsing and there's nothing anyone can really do to stop it. I mean, it would take an insane libertarian destroying all of government, like all government programs. We're going to still collect taxes for a while because we got to somehow pay this debt back. And then we're going to go to how we're supposed to be where there's no taxes, right? It would take that to fix things. And that's not going to ever happen here. So here's the thing. Democrats knew
Best
that.
day of your life. I could see you being like, yay!
Yeah. That would be the best thing ever. But so Democrats knew, hey, if we get into power, we have to support Israel. But our base hates Israel. In fact, our base probably hates just all Jewish people in general, right? Because that's how the Democrats are. Now, Republicans, it's kind of baked into the pie. We all knew that Trump was a big Israel guy. So when we voted for him, that wasn't a factor. Even though some of us may not like the nation of Israel, ding, 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 me right here, a lot of people on the right, but we kind of knew Trump is kind of, an Israeli dick suck. He's going to do full-throated blowjobs for all Israelis. That's just his thing. So we kind of accepted it already. And if the Republicans back Israel, Republicans might lose maybe like 10% of their voter base. That's about it, right? Now the
They
collapse.
always kind of have been yeah. No, I was going to say to that, and I understand, and my thought during the time was, we've always been, as a dude who goes to church in the southern Midwest, we are taught Jews are God's chosen people, love Jews, help Jews, support Jewish people, because ultimately when God comes back, he's going to save them too. They're coming with us even if they accept Jesus or not, because God just likes them better, I guess. So you're taught to appreciate and support Israel, literally, man. And like your
Yeah.
churches give money to Israel, and we did. And we, Southern Baptist and Christian churches in, Texas send money to Israel, literally. Maybe not much anymore, but it was a thing, bro. And you were just taught a certain way, and then it was, and then as you get older and you're like, well, that sucks. But I'm going to say Trump's first term, right? For instance, right? Trump's first term was, he was an Israel suck dick, but they weren't blowing up Christian churches in Lebanon.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't this. So
No, it wasn't.
That's where I feel like we got hosed. So, but anyway, I'm sorry. I just wanted to co-sign your point.
The right, there's always the anti-Israel faction, of which I consider myself part of. Not for anyone who wants to say, "Oh, anti-Semite," I'm half Jewish ethnically. Okay, so like, I'm not. I don't want all Jews dead or anything crazy like that. I just don't want Israel involved in our politics. It's that simple. I don't want us sending our young men to die in some land we can't even point out on a map for Israel, for any nation. But the only one we do that for constantly is Israel. And Ukraine now, I guess, too, for a little bit, right? But at least that's only like, I don't know, what are we up to, like $500 billion by now? I don't even keep track anymore. I know it's a lot. I know it was like 250 billion the last time I looked. But yeah, so I don't want Americans fighting and dying. I don't want Americans' money going over to foreign lands. I don't want any of that. It's not just an Israel thing. It's just Israel happens to be the one that we always do it for. That's why I point them out like that. But yeah, I mean, Republicans, it's kind of baked into the cake. You know that any Republican, for the most part, is going to support Israel. But, you like their lower taxes, gun policies, stuff like that. So the Republicans aren't going to like mass exodus out of the party if Trump supports Israel through another war. Although I think the Iran war is kind of getting a little bit more people to be like, what the fuck is going on? I do think that. I don't think in large numbers, but, more than I think would have happened if it was just like another small country, like a Kuwait again or something, right? Now, that said, the Democrats, all hate Israel, and most hate Jews. And if Kamala got into power and had to support Israel, Democrats are going to be like, what the fuck are you doing? You're supposed to be fighting for the little guy. You can't do this, and we're not going to vote for you. And I guarantee you, in the next election, at least 25% of Democrats would vote third party, like Green Party or something. Probably Green Party, because that's the only leftist third party that really ever has any kind of traction. Now, here's the thing: if a third party ever gets, I think it's like 5% of the national vote, then they officially become a third party ingrained in the system. They get automatic 50 state ballot access. They automatically get included in all debates. They automatically get any public funding available for elections. They become like an official, real part of the political system. And if there's a second leftist party next to the Democrats officially there, it's going to split the Democrat vote enough so that they will never win, or at least for at least 10, 20 years. And I think that the Democrat, insiders knew that, understood it, and said, we can't win this one. So let's just trot out this horribly, the most unsettling woman ever. And that's including Hillary Clinton. As bad as Hillary Clinton was, as much as she seemed like a soulless, evil woman, Kamala was worse. That laugh of hers, oh my God. It's just awful. It's horrible. And so she, by far, the most unpopular candidate probably of all time, or at least of our lifetime. And they knew that they weren't going to win, and they didn't want to win because they didn't want to prop up Green Party, which would then destroy them for the next, X amount of years. And that's my, it's a conspiracy. It's my conspiracy. It's one that I just looked at everything that I was seeing going on and started connecting dots and was like, yeah, I don't think they want to win this one. And then, I didn't really want to vote for Trump after he picked Vance. And I know there were a lot of other people that didn't either. But once those Democrats started saying, oh, well, the First Amendment, we can't let people spread lies. This is an obstacle to our governance. They knew what they were doing. I think they knew what they were doing. That's take it with, like I said, several shovelfuls of salt, but that's my theory on it.
I absolutely agree. And I really got to thinking, it's like it's rather brilliant. Like, you're gonna lose, right? And this is what these people do, or the chances of you losing is extremely likely. You probably cheated to win the last one. Those mechanisms are no longer in place. You got to take an L because you're going to gear up for the next election, but you're not going to be able to pull that shit off, back to back. So you're going to take the L. The momentum's for the other guy. You know what's going to happen, right? We all know the ways the winds are blowing.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not pull the old white man out, put the incoherent black woman in, and then
Black
when she
woman.
doesn't win, you get 4 years of you racist, sexist asshole. You racist, you didn't vote. I have literally read America refused to vote for a black woman. And it was like, no, we refused to vote for a terrible candidate, quite honestly. But
Yeah.
now they have that. And it's like, if you're the party that runs on the other side is racist and chauvinist and sexist, then what better thing to have than a losing black female candidate? It's rather brilliant to me. So,
Yeah.
yeah, man, it made total sense. And then on top of that, of course, they know if you want to polarize a group, you come after the First Amendment. That's the one thing that's going to polarize everybody, right?
Yeah.
And
First
so
and
you
second.
get people who are sitting around going, yeah, you're not going to be able to worship God the way you want. You're not going to be able to talk the way you want. The two things that people still feel inherently make this country what it is today. And you say
Yep.
we're going to take those two things away, you're going to get. Remember when you saw those Amish people whipping on the buggies going into town to vote, and they had never you'd never seen them vote before, and they were going to vote. It was because they threatened to take. You know what I mean? It was one, the immigrants, and then two, illegal, and then it was two, threatening to take away your right to worship and your right to free speech. So yeah,
You
man.
know,
I mean, but that's brilliant. It's like, yeah, man, lock the win in, have 4 years of these brutal, evil pieces of crap, and then take over
yeah,
after. It makes sense to me, dude. It does. It
yeah,
really does.
and then you
Also,
can just
like
straight
you
up say
said, the
Trump is supporting genocide in in Gaza. Trump wants to kill all the all the Iranians. It's the playbook writes itself. The playbook writes itself. The Newsom is vetting Hunter Biden as his VP in an upcoming interview. I have a different theory on Hunter, and I think that the right is joking about him a lot, and I think they're doing it at their own peril. I think that Hunter Biden, he's done 2 interviews now. He did one with Channel 5, I think that he's called. And then he did one with Candace Owens, and he comes off as a very personable and, dare I say it, likable guy who you'd want to go have a beer with, but you wouldn't want to get him to not be sober again because allegedly he's sober now. He just comes off as like a guy's guy. He's that Joe Rogan of the left that we're looking for, and I think he's gonna start podcasting at some point before the next election starts kicking up for president, and kind of try to reel back in the guys. And I think he will do well doing that because he comes off, like I said, personable and somehow likable in a weird kind of way. And I don't like it. I'm seeing right through it. But I think he's going to be that guy that can bring back some of the center back to the left. I think the right, if you guys keep making fun of him and calling him a crackhead, it's just going to push people to, oh, well, that was weird. It's just going to push people to, support him more. What do you think about that? Can you hear me?
yeah, I think he's got a credibility issue, and I think that his dad was so bad, you know. Yeah, and it's something that they're kind of talking about in the chat, and it's something I'd love to throw out since I got, a lot of conservative dudes here, and it's like, why do you think they're fucking winning? I mean, we can all go on our Twitters or Facebooks and look at these absolutely. I mean, and that's the thing. I could see if it was just online, but you can go to the mall, you can go to Sam's Club or Costco or wherever you shop. You can go, you know what I mean? Wherever people congregate, your gym, and you can see some of the most crazy, brain fried leftist nuts, and you're just like, "Ow, why? What?" You know what I mean? I honestly always default to they must be like crazy gamer, weird. Like I've got an internet cult that I'm into, and we all do this thing. Like I don't get it because clearly it makes no sense. It is hypocrisy upon hypocrisy. It's ignorant. If you follow their ideas, it doesn't lead to anything. Freedom, wealth, happiness, none of it. Like I don't get it. I don't understand. And I think, and I'll just leave this part and throw it at you. Trump has been around so long. What is it? Going on 12 years now. Think about
Yeah.
it. There are people that were 10 years old when Trump came down that escalator that are now they voted in the last election, right? And they voted in the midterms before that, right?
Yeah.
And they were 10. They had no idea. They gave no fucks about politics. They were still into their transformers and shit. And now they're in their mid 20s. So, or early 20s. So, if you grew up with parents who hated Trump, and demanded you stay locked in and take a vax. Well, where are you now? You know. So just a thought.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna run Hunter Biden, and obviously anyone who's pretty firmly on the right knows he's a fucking creep, a pedo, a crackhead. Like we all know that. But people who are like in the center and people who are like former Democrats who kind of turned out for Trump because they didn't like the direction the party was going will see Hunter Biden and be like, yeah, he seems reasonable. I think he came out and said that women and men and women's sports, the trans thing was like not something he thought was a good idea. He thought it was stupid. All you have to do on the left is show just a little bit of common sense, and those Democrats who fled the left will come right back, And a lot of the center, the quote unquote center who changes every election, will be like, they seem like they're backing off the crazy positions. And so I think when we just, on the right, who we know what was in his fucking laptop because we were paying attention to all the shit they were trying to hide from us, come out and just say, he's a crackhead, he's a pedo. We sound unhinged. Now, it's cool. You can get those points across without becoming unhinged. But I think to just try to discredit him immediately on those grounds, most normies aren't engaged enough to know that those things are actually true. And I think it's gonna backfire on the right if you don't take. And I don't think he's gonna run for office. I think he's gonna start a podcast and be an influencer, so to speak. I don't think he's gonna try to run for anything because he's too tarnished. All the fucking illegal deals he did while Biden was, his dad was in office. Like he's too tarnished. That'll all come out if he's the main focus of an election. But if he's just a background guy who's just being an influence on the left and the center, he can really move some needles, I think. And I think I think we need to be very strategic in the ways that we call him out and not just say, like a Spurg, he's a crackhead. And don't get me wrong, I've spurged out a million times on shit like this. So, like, I'm not the guy to tell you not to spurg out, but try not to spurg out on this one. I think that's a big one.
Yeah, man. If I may, one thing I'm starting to learn that I like now, as you know, you some of the you argue like a liberal a lot of the time, and it frustrates the hell out of me. It makes me so mad because you're not a liberal at all. Like you clearly, and you're very wise in understanding, typical conservatism or classic conservatism, and where we're coming from. You're very wise in that, but you argue like a liberal, and it makes me want to rip your head off. Sometimes I appreciate you, I love you though,
No,
but when you
it goes
argue
both
like a
ways.
liberal, anyway, there, there. You're like, oh no, bro, goes both ways. But I never argue like a liberal. I argue like a man because I'm good at what I do. But we don't have to split hairs right now. Anyway,
I don't
I
have
just
enough hairs to split,
want to
buddy.
let you know you're awesome.
I don't have any hairs
Man,
to
your beard
split.
is G. Man, I was trying to grow it out. I had to trim. I don't know how you
Uh,
do it, man. I was trying to grow it out, and I had to. It just starts driving me so crazy, dude. I'm just sitting there like,
it's rough
do this.
sometimes. I try to. I get a lot of little hairs that stick out, so I have I think it's a Panasonic. It's like a green little thing. I just go in and like surgically remove the little hairs, but then it's like sometimes I go over it too far, and I take a little chunk out, and then I have to shave it down to like a 2 or something. And yeah, but I like the beard. I've always had a long beard. It's just it gets annoying sometimes. If I like maybe if I
Well,
got like
being a
some kind of
Cuban, barbering is like,
no, I'm a Cuban, not a Dominican. All
yeah,
right.
I was gonna say, isn't barbering in your blood? Don't y'all all naturally know how to use clippers really
No,
good?
no,
Like, yeah.
we know how to swim, and we know how to make boats out of Buicks from the 50s.
And mofongo,
Yes.
right? Mofongo?
Yes.
That's your thing? Yes. Bro, is 2 hours good for tonight? If we go two, is
Yeah.
this good for tonight?
Yeah. How long have we
Only
gone? It
because
seems.
I didn't realize Third
Oh, fuck.
Rail earlier was going to send me a link and ask me to be on. But if they call, you know what I mean. I always try to be
Yeah.
there because I love them. And
I love going on
yeah,
their
man.
show. I
So
would
I
have
jumped
gone
on
if I
that.
could have, but it's definitely fun going on there. You were on there tonight?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting, and the link was in my inbox. Like
Oh,
literally,
nice.
my sports show normally goes an hour 15. We went every bit of 2 hours tonight, right? Because there was a lot to cover with the NBA Finals and baseball and the UFC. So we went every bit of 2 hours tonight, right? Like 2 hours and five. I wrapped that. I checked my Twitter, just to kind of see, and there's the link. And I'm like, well, I got to do that. So I literally eat some taco salad I made some chicken taco salad and
Nice.
ate that. And, gave myself like a little 30-minute break and then jumped on their show. And then, as you know, we rolled right into this. So I've been rolling since 8 p.m. my time. It's not into 11.
Okay,
We're
so
rolling 7 hours with about a 30-minute break.
you're into sports, right? I used to be into
Mhm.
sports. I used to love sports, but they're just not the same sports anymore. What do you think is going to happen? Are the Spurs throwing this? Like, what's going on? It seems like with Wemby, the guy's like 7'6". How is he not just dominating everything?
Well, he's still young, so he's real streaky, right? So he's still young. He's still very emotional of a player, and he hasn't figured out. And that's something that those older players do have. And if you love basketball, you'll see it. But those young players get really emotional, and he gets really emotional. And when he's feeling good, and when he feels like his team has his back, he is like literally one of the best players out there by far. When he's feeling bad or he has an attitude or he's in a bad place, he like stops defending. And when he's not defending, it doesn't matter how great he is at shooting. You have, 4 on 5 on NBA level basketball. You can't do that. And like your star player who actually won the Defender of the Year for the NBA award, when he's not doing his thing, well, your star defender's not really doing his thing, right? And when his shots are off, he's real cold. When he goes cold, he goes real cold. So, and instead of doing the thing where like, oh, I can't hit threes, I've tried 2 threes, I can't hit them. Let me get
Yeah,
closer in. You know what I mean? And just get in that rhythm. He's gonna
he
keep
just
hitting
gets.
threes until he hits a three. So, yeah, yeah, that kind of thing. Young, he just young is why. And New York has a lot more experience. So,
Yeah, it's I mean, it seems like the New York team is kind of
Lord.
stacked. Man, if that was Shaq instead of Wemby, like it wouldn't even be a contest. You know what I mean?
Oh, it'd be
I
over.
miss I miss the old days of the NBA. They've fallen so far. I don't even feel like it's the same sport anymore, and so I haven't really cared about the NBA since probably like Kobe retired. Basically, it's just too 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 much softness in the game now. Wish it would
Yeah,
come
it
back.
is. Thank you, Neuro. You rock.
Neuro, is there anyone worth
Yeah, no, it
rating?
is. It is. There's way too much of. Let me see.
Do you know anyone out there? I'm looking. I just don't.
It's so cool to
Other than
cancel this podcast. I owe him a raid or two. The
well,
problem is
he
the more
rated
friends you
us.
get, like the more people you have to raid.
Yeah,
The
it
original ass butt is live and he is wonderful.
the original Asput.
That's my bud. Yeah. He kind of does what Clancy does, but he's really like really he does it for a living, right? So yeah.
He does it for like this is his full time job.
He's really
Is it all
Yeah,
one
he plays
word?
music like at a bar for a living. Or like
Oh, gotcha. I thought
yeah,
you
here,
meant
I'll send you the link.
spurged out on. Thought you meant he spurgs out on what's it called on
No, no,
people
no.
online.
He takes requests and plays music and he'll pause and make some dirty jokes and then play some more music. I've sent Clancy this guy. The problem is he's not consistent, right? He just kind of does it when he wants, this guy.
Yeah,
But I've sent Clancy this guy. I'm like, dude, this guy is the dude. Like he's so cool and he doesn't give a fuck. He's fun. So anyway, I'll send you the link right.
I have found him. So what do I have to do? I have to slash raid and then just put the link of the video, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. Let's do that. Do I put a space in between? Yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah. So it's that slash raid and then the link, the copy paste link.
Cool.
And then you should see the chat say raid, and then you click confirm raid, and then you're raid.
Got it. Sweet. All right, guys. Like their video and do all the flashy shit that
Oh,
everyone likes. And we'll see you on the next one, guys. Have a good night and be easy.